today I'm going to be showing you how to put a saddle pad on a younger horse, and this is BJ, so I'm going to get right to the point. So the first thing you want to do is let them sniff it, because you have to remember that they're younger and they haven't really seen a saddle pad before. So I'm going to let her sniff it, and she can sniff all of it. I can flip it inside out, all around. So I'm going to let her sniff this for a little bit, and then when she gives me a signal that she's distracted, and then when she gives me a signal that she's kind of done sniffing it, then and she's okay with it, then we can move on to the next step. Alright, so as you can see, she's kind of becoming uninterested in it, and she's not really sniffing it anymore. It doesn't really bother her. So now we can move on to the next step of this. Alright, so our next step is that we're just going to flap it around nice and gently. We don't want to hit her with it, like you don't want to flap with it and then accidentally hit her, so you want to be at a good range. Get her attention. And we're just going to flap it gently. She's alert to it, as you can see. She's alert to what's going on. She sees that there's a thing coming at her, and I mean that's normal for their nature. That's actually a pretty good thing, but she's not flinching. If a horse were to flinch, I'm going to do this until she becomes, again, uninterested. And if a horse were to flinch, I would do this until they stop flinching. So now what I'm going to do is go to the other side here. Over. And I'm going to start flapping it this side. So she's a little bit more alert on this side. This is why I'm going to do it on both sides, so that she's better and she's desensitized with this on both sides. I like to say that whatever you do on one side, you must reteach to the other. She's not as sensitive as some other horses, so saddle pad training with her will be easier. So I would do that until they stop flinching. And she was just sniffing at the wall. She was totally uninterested in me flapping the saddle pad around by her. So now we can do the next step. Alright, so now as you can see, I'm letting her kind of sniff it again. And she's having another good sniff at it because I just flapped it around at her. And it's becoming suddenly, maybe might be a scary object that might hurt her. So she gets to sniff it again to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. Alright, so her nostrils have stopped inhaling and she's become uninterested in it again. So the next thing that we're going to do is just put it on her, and she's not flinching, she's not scared of it. This is a little bit of a step down from like just flapping it at her, but this will technically be the next step to just put it over her back. So I'm going to rub this everywhere on her, under her tummy. Under the tummy is especially important. This can also work with just random desensitizing. So going down her legs with it, and she's not too bad about it. And before you put the saddle pad on your horse, I would also make sure that they're clean, because if they're a little bit dirty, then the saddle pad could pressure down and it could make it uncomfortable for them, making it an unpleasant situation to be in, and they wouldn't want to have the saddle pad on at all. So just make sure your horse is clean and there's nothing that's going to irritate them under the saddle pad. Okay, so now I'm just doing the other side, because as I said before, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I'm just going to quickly rub down this side, and then we're ready for our final step. Okay, so she's done really good with the other side, and she's done really good with everything in general, because she's a less sensitive horse, she's a less shy horse. It generally took me about 10 minutes to get her desensitized to the saddle pad, but with a more sensitive horse it may take you 20 minutes. It's just all until they're comfortable and you move at their pace. Okay, so now that she's good with this, I can put the saddle pad on her. So, as we did before, you flap it on her, so that's what the flapping was for, and it's going to rub her, so that's what most of the rubbing was for. So now we can just put it on her and hopefully she doesn't do anything. There. So this is doesn't really fit her because she's obviously smaller, and I wouldn't really put a saddle on yet. This is just saddle pad to get them ready. Alright, so I've just closed that door over there because she was getting distracted by the things out there, and I want her to pay more attention to what we're doing over here. So we're really just at the final steps, and I can push this on her neck, and I can pull it down, and I can pull it across her. Now I'm going to do this on this side. So always get their attention on what you're about to do, even if it isn't a younger horse. This way it doesn't spook them if they're looking at something and then suddenly there's something flying over their back. So when they have an ear cocked to you or listening to you, then you're good to go ahead with whatever you're doing because they see you and they see what you're about to do, and it makes it even less scary for them. Alright, so I've run it along her a few times, and yes, this is a huge saddle pad for her, but she's small, and it's just the start of getting a saddle on her, and it's good to have a head start with that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to put a saddle pad on a younger horse, and I hope that it helps some of you, and I'll see you all in my next video.